Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Whatever time zone you happen to be in, welcome to Leaders Worldwide Online Toastmasters Club.
Good afternoon.
Our club mission, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting
Good afternoon. Our club mission, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are
because
empowered
that's the
to
way we
develop
work today.
leadership skills, resulting. Good afternoon. Our club mission, we provide a supportive.
There we go. Sorry about that, folks. Of course, we have to have one little snafu, and it's going to ruin everything, but we will get this back on track. I just wanted to introduce our president of the club, which is Rosemary Sweeney. She could come to the virtual lectern.
On mute. Thank you so much, Alex, for your introduction. At this time, our meeting will begin, and I welcome everyone, our guests, more so Carolyn's son, to our meeting with a difference in held in her honor because she was a dear, dear member of Leaders Worldwide, one who would give us sound evaluations in such a gentle tone. So we do miss her. I know I miss her dearly. And our meeting today is held in her honor. It will be different in that we'll only have one speaker, and the Toastmaster of the day will take care of the balance of the meeting and guide us. But before I call on our Toastmaster of the day, I would like to call on our guests to introduce themselves. Now, the way I am seeing, I can go to gallery. Okay, I will now call, since it is in honor of Carolyn, I will now call on her son to first introduce himself to the gathering.
Good morning, good afternoon. I'm Brett Douglas Richards. I'm Carolyn Yvonne Jolly Douglas, second son. She only had two of us. The first son, Lord Harrison Douglas Jr., is not with us today. He's probably taking care of some other affairs for our mom. So thank you for accepting her as part of her community. She has done Toastmasters for many years. I can't count the number of years that she's done it, but I just want to thank you guys for accepting her as part of your community.
Welcome, welcome. And I will now call on our second guest, Toastmaster Dorothy. Could you please unmute? Mike.
Hi, I'm Dorothy Wilson. I live in Northern California, and I'm one of Carolyn Douglas' oldest friends. We worked together. We lived in the same neighborhood for many years.
Okay, thank you. I will now call on the good Reverend to introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. I am Reverend Rita Joa Cooper Rodriguez, and I am in Delaware. And I knew Reverend Carolyn. She was one of my esteemed and cherished teachers, and I'll perhaps share a little bit more about that later. But I'm very glad to be here. I was invited by James Jeffrey, good Reverend James Jeffrey. I'm honored to be here.
Okay. And Elizabeth Jordan, could you kindly introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm happy to. My name is Elizabeth Jordan. I am the District Director for District 71, which is UK North and Ireland. And I met Carolyn once very briefly at a conference, and then I've seen her videos, YouTube videos, which I've used a lot, learned a lot from her, and I just wanted to pay my respects to her today.
Thank you for coming.
And Elizabeth and Carolyn were both charter members of Leaders Worldwide. So you were members with her.
Actually, that's an excellent point. Thank you. That is correct. Yes, thank you.
Lubov, our guest Lubov, forgive me if I did not pronounce your name properly. Can you correct me?
No worries.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm Liu Bovananeva, and I belong to Island City Toastmasters in Alameda. And I first met Caroline in person. I met her last year, and our last meeting, the second and the last one, was, I believe, in October of the last year. But I met Caroline, I believe, in 2021, first time when I joined my club, and she was amazing. She was an amazing storyteller, and I was so impressed by her speaking, by her talking. And I remember, like, I can recall that my thought was, oh, I want to do the same stuff. Yeah. So, and when I saw your announcement on Facebook page, so I felt that I needed to come to pay my respect to Caroline.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
I will now call on I heard Reverend James, so we are well endowed here this evening. So Reverend James, we know you're the keynote speaker, but can you introduce yourself to our meeting?
Good morning, everyone. I'm James Jeffley. I am glad to be here and sad to be here. Carolyn was quite a presence and a dear human being, and I am honored to be here to say a few words in memory. So thank you.
Thank you for coming. And our precious Judith, our guest, let's hear from her.
Well, I unfortunately did not meet Caroline in person here, but I want to say one thing about Lyubov, that she followed Caroline. I heard her story of the violin, and it's a fabulous story. She was competing in, I don't know what actually happened to that, but she is a great storyteller. Anyway, I am honored to be here. I only saw Caroline on Leaders Worldwide, but I think she seemed to be a really wonderful human being that I need. So thank you. So I will be the timer for the speeches.
Okay, thank you so much. Caroline touched all of us virtually. For me, I have never met her in person, but I know what you all have said, especially the storytelling. I just admired listening to distinguished Toastmaster Caroline. And at this time, I will call on our Toastmaster of the meeting to take control of this portion of the meeting. Let's make her feel welcome.
Thank you, President Rosemary. She was such a great storyteller, and one of my favorite stories she would tell was the I Think I Can from the children's book about the train that was, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. And she gave such heart to it and such personality to it. It was just amazing. So I'm your Toastmaster of the day for this very special meeting. And I want to introduce our keynote speaker because we're celebrating. Let me introduce the theme. Let me just calm down. I'm very overwhelmed with Carolyn's passing, and with joy for having known her and being mentored by her and a colleague with her and a friend. But I miss her terribly. I miss her dearly. And every time I see her picture, I say, oh, oh, it's just a reminder for me. So we're here to celebrate her life, and what a life she lived. I couldn't believe that she was 74 years old because she didn't look a day over 60. I mean, she was very active and energetic and beautiful. And I really cherish the time I spent with her. And today we're just going to have our keynote speaker, um, James Jeffley. I'm going to introduce him in a couple minutes. And then after that, we're just going to do sharing, like table topic style, 1 to 2 minutes. And that's why we have our timer here, Judith, and she will tell us all about the timing. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our timer to give us the timing for James's speech. Welcome, Judith.
Yes, thank you. James Jeffley's speech is 12 minutes, it seems. So I am going to do a regular. So this is going to be 10 minutes. This is 11 minutes, and then 12 minutes, you will have a red color. And as far as the memories, that will be 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, and 2 minutes. That's how the timing will go. Thank you.
Okay, great. And can you give us 1 minute for silence for Carolyn before we start our meeting? Let's
Okay.
just remember Carolyn and be grateful for the time that we spent with her. And she's still here.
One minute.
Okay, thank you so much, Judith. And now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce James Jeffley. Our guest speaker today is James Jeffley. In addition to his notable achievements in Toastmasters, James is also an ordained minister, award-winning speaker, facilitator, author, and musician. Today, he shares his reflections on the life and legacy of our dear departed colleague, friend, even mother, Carolyn Douglas. In his speech, Windows of Life, James Jeffley, Windows of Life, Windows of Life, James Jeffley.
Thank you, Cynthia. I had the honor and privilege of knowing Carolyn in two worlds. Toastmasters, where she was an exceptional leader, powerful speaker, and an avid supporter and encourager of mine. When we worked on speeches together, I was always impressed by her desire to have her message and her stories really connect with her audience in a deep way. We also knew each other in ministry through the Centers for Spiritual Living. I had the opportunity and privilege of delivering the message at her spiritual center on one Sunday. And as impactful as she was in Toastmasters, her presence was equally impactful in spiritual communities and ministry. My experience of Carolyn was that she was always kind and professional and authentic. I got the sense you were always getting the real Carolyn. She had a gentle spirit. She was a natural leader, and she had a smile that just brought joy to all my interactions with her. So my sincere condolences to all her family, to her son Brett, who is here today, her friends and colleagues. We may all count ourselves fortunate and blessed to have had a window of opportunity to share part of our existence with Carolyn. In the vast continuum of existence, where time as we know it is just a notion and eternity is all there is, there's a fleeting moment that we call life. And as spirit beings, like we are presented with an endless number of windows. And we pick one, and that window opens, floods us with light, and closes almost as quickly as it appeared, in a cosmic sense. And once through that window, our life begins. And we don't know what's on the other side or how long we get to stay there. It's just an opportunity to live. And this is a brief look at one of those windows, one that opened to the life of Reverend Carolyn Yvonne Jolly Douglas, DTM. Around the time when Reverend Carolyn was in high school, and some of us may remember this, we are of a certain generation, there was a popular saying from a 1960s ad campaign, "I don't do windows." Anybody remember that? It was about people who worked as cleaning ladies saying this when they were interviewed by prospective clients about which tasks they were or were not willing to do as part of their employment. Because windows take a lot of time to clean. They're breakable, and the work is often very tedious. And can't the same be said about life? It takes a lot of effort to live. We are breakable, and sometimes the work is tedious. As a spirit being who chose a window of life, in truth, I do windows. And as spirit beings who chose windows of life, you do windows. We all do windows. We all step through these windows not knowing where they will open or what lies beyond or what our lives will be like. We pick one, we show up, we do the work. We get broken, we heal. Sometimes it's tedious, sometimes it's joyful. And Carolyn did windows, and she did them splendidly. And like her name, sometimes even jolly. Once we have chosen a window and we have our life, other windows appear throughout our lives, windows of opportunities, relationships, experiences, growth, friendships, family, work, and service. Carolyn chose a window that led to a world of care for the environment, where she worked for the U.S. Navy and the EPA as an environmental scientist. There was another window that led to spiritual leadership, where she was an ordained minister in the Centers for Spiritual Living, where she was the senior minister and spiritual director for the Center of Spiritual Living in Peninsula. There was a window that led to her being an eloquent speaker and an outstanding leader in Toastmasters, where many of us knew, admired, and loved her as a club, area, division, and district leader. Throughout her journey, Carolyn's life unfolded through numerous windows, each a chapter, a unique vista. Windows of opportunity were her stepping stones, and she approached them with zeal and purpose. Windows of relationship were her canvases, painted with the deep colors of compassion and connection. Her experiences crafted windows of wisdom that she shared so freely, windows of growth where her boundless curiosity bloomed like the flowers she so loved. In friendships, she was the window that brought warmth. In family, the window that welcomed the light. At work, she was the window that showed us a view of integrity, and in service, the window that revealed the horizon of humanity. Each of these windows had its time, its own opening and closing, its lessons and its particular impact. A mosaic of movements that together form the legacy of a life well lived. Windows signifies opportunities. Those Carolyn embraced wholeheartedly, transcending the roles of a spiritual director, a distinguished Toastmaster, and a leader who molded the art of public speaking into an act of service. She lived with a zeal that was matched only by her desire for perfection, her love for nature, and her relentless pursuit of the third way. the path that unites, the bridge, the way that bridges divides, the journey that draws us together. When people were in conflict, she would often look past the conflicting views and invite them to a world Sufi poet Rumi once imagined, out beyond the ideas of wrongdoing and right doing. There's a field. I'll meet you there. It was in this field where Carolyn's spirit danced, where her light shone the brightest, teaching and touching lives, one heart, one soul at a time. Ernest Holmes, an American New Thought writer, teacher, and the founder of the spiritual philosophy Carolyn practiced, once said, "Life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it." Sometimes this window, the window of our life, reflects back to us our truth. It was evident in conversations with Carolyn that she was steeped in this philosophy of science of mind and was a skilled practitioner of it. In a conversation she once had with a fellow minister about passing on, Carolyn remarked, "I'm not dying. I am not dying. When my time comes, I'm just going to walk out of here like Enoch." And so she did, leaving behind a legacy as enduring as the ancient truths she held dear. If you're not familiar with the story of Enoch, he was a character in the Old Testament who did not die. God just took him. That you're coming with me. There will be no death for you. You have much work to do. Sic transit gloria mundi. Thus passes the worldly glory. This Latin phrase reminds us. Yet some impacts are immeasurable, some lives so profound that they transcend the bounds of worldly glory. They remain etched in the memories of those they uplifted, in the smiles they brought to faces, in the wisdom they imparted, which will ripple through the generations. I was watching a video the other day. It was a bit sad and disheartening. It said that the memories of us will be forgotten in 4 generations. That nothing will remain of our lives, our work, families, loved ones, possessions, hobbies, habits, likes or subscribes, nothing. And that's true for the vast majority of us, unless we lived a life of significance, of impact. Like Leonardo da Vinci, his contributions to science, art, and technology were so profound, his works are still being studied today. Or Cleopatra, the last active ruler of the Ptolemaic kingdom of Egypt, who was known for her intelligence and political acumen. Her life has been the subject of numerous historical and dramatic works. Or the life of Jesus of Nazareth, whose existence split history itself into BC and AD. Now, some may wonder, how can I live a life worth remembering? I think the answer to that lies in another Latin phrase I saw on the bracelet of a flight attendant once while handing me a beverage on a plane. The inscription on her bracelet read, "Dum vivimus vivamus." I asked her, what did that mean? She said, "While there is life, let us live." So find or create the work that brings you joy. Let your life be of service to others or to a greater good, a higher purpose, and don't wait. The minute hand moves much faster than you think it does. Some of the windows of opportunity in our lives come along only once, and then they're gone. So make time to do something every day that makes your heart and soul smile as big and as bright as Carolyn's. Carolyn's life, no doubt, will defy this notion. She sowed the seeds of growth, showered us with the beauty of her garden, nurtured us with her words, and led us through her example. Her life, one of consequence, of service and impact, will be remembered for generations to come. Carolyn's window may have closed on this plane, but the light that shone through it, her essence, continues to illuminate paths and warm hearts. We find solace in knowing that her journey continues just beyond, through a different pain, in a realm where every soul is a story, every spirit a melody in the symphony of existence. And as we gather here today to reflect and rejoice on the life of Carolyn, we realize that she has not left us. She lives on. In the meditations she led on Sunday nights, in the Wednesday night book review sessions that she taught, or the Sunday sermons she gave. She lives on in the speeches she gave in Toastmasters and in the sermons she gave in spiritual centers around the globe, in the gardens she tended, in the unity she fostered. And in each of us, as each of us returns to the windows of our own lives, let us carry with us the lessons of love, leadership, and legacy that she embodied. These are the windows of life. They open, they close. And while the lives we live may seem fleeting, the impact we have on others, the stories people tell about us, they are eternal. So let us cherish these stories. Let us continue to tell them, and in doing so, ensure that the essence of who Carolyn was remains forever a part of us.
Thank you so much, James, for that heartfelt oration of our friend, colleague, mentor, Carolyn. Yeah, thank you so much for being here and sharing that with us. She truly was a shining example for all of us to follow. So now we're going to do the sharing, and anybody who wants to share, we're going to have 1 to 2 minutes of sharing. And Judith, would you like to show people what they're going to see at 2 minutes, 1.5, at 1 minute, 1.5, and 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
This is 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, and 2 minutes. Thanks.
Great. And who would like to start us off here? Well, I'd like to invite Brett, if you're available, to give your sharings with us. We're so honored that you're here today.
Thank you so much. I've shared a lot between the two services. So the two memorial services that we had, one at East Bay Church of Religious Science, and then the one we just recently had. So unfortunately, I'm not at the place to continue sharing. I'm at the place where I'm beginning to reflect and heal that I physically I don't have her anymore. So, but thank you.
Thank you, Brett. Yes, and thank you for coming today and sharing with us. And I'm sorry, I have a cold, so my nose is running. Or allergies from the springtime. But I wanted to share, we had one of our members, Denise Ray Denise de Gregorwa. She says, although I did not know Carolyn very well, I do remember her sweet smile and her kind eyes. I am sorry you and Leaders Worldwide lost a friend and fellow Leaders Worldwide member. We all have an extra angel watching over us. Beautiful. And that's so, so true. And I did share that, Brett, on her Facebook page. I put it as a comment under my sharing of today's meeting. And I will post the YouTube link there when it's complete and ready to go. So yeah, Lipov, would you like to share?
Yeah, thank you, Cindy. And last February in 2023, when my club organized an open house, and I invited Caroline to be our guest speaker. And she delivered a speech, Curiosity. And the speech was about the power of curiosity in our life. And she said that curiosity helped us see new worlds, and it helps us find normally invisible possibilities, and how curiosity can bring us to the places which were imaginable for us previously. And I was very touched and very impressed by her speech. And yesterday, as Caroline actually invited me to Toastmaster District 57 Toastmasters TV. And yesterday I was emailing to my team, and her email popped out as it usually happens. And I knew that she won't be there. And I felt this twinge somewhere in this area that Caroline is not there on another end of my message anymore. And I feel really grateful to her. Even I didn't know her very close, but still, she played some role in my life, and I feel really grateful for it to Caroline. Thank you.
Thank you. And Elizabeth, what would you like to share about Carolyn?
Thank you. I'd like to share briefly because I have to run to another meeting. I didn't know Carolyn well, but I think sometimes you don't need to know people well for them to have an impact on you. I think it was her warmth. I think it was her smile. It was the support she gave that really I remembered. And we talk of a distinguished Toastmaster, and we use it quite freely, but there's some people who live up to that reputation. They really are distinguished. And I looked at her and aspired to be the sort of Toastmaster she was. So I thank God for having known her, if only fleetingly, because I do think she's helped to make me a better person because I've known her. And I'm really grateful that I could come and join you tonight, just very briefly to share my thoughts and to extend my sympathy to her son and to you as fellow Toastmasters. So as I said, I just thank God that I met her, and I feel my life has been enriched by that. Thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. We appreciate you coming and sharing. And you can't share very often in our WhatsApp group, but when I shared about Carolyn's passing, you popped up and we're like, wow. So I wanted to make sure that you were invited and got to share on this very special meeting. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm sure Carolyn's here too. And would anyone else like to share? Sally? Go
Yes,
ahead. Go ahead and unmute.
thank you. I think I'm unmuted now. I remember Carolyn from, I think, 2016, 17. She was competing in small ways in a competition. And she had such verve and energy racing through the crowd to say, it's my turn, and get up there and represent what it's like to learn through Toastmasters. But the next time I saw her, that she was doing an expression of teaching people about using your body in your language. And I'll never forget, because you also mentioned that was her choice of expression was the little engine that could. And she jumped all over 3 times harder with every direction of speaking that darling poem. And I got it. I hope that everybody to understand, well, where's your emotion in this? What are you doing? How are you reaching? And she did everything. I never have forgotten that expression, that she portrayed it and did it better than I've ever seen anyone. So it's always in my heart. And the sad thing is that I think as we're learning to take our own position and strength of representing ourselves, that she did not put doctor in front of her name. And I think that she missed the point from the expression to putting it as a label. I know why she was perhaps embarrassed with her friends who had not accomplished what she had, but she was a standard for us all. And bless her spirit every way we can take it. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Sally. Wonderful. And Reverend, would you like to share? I'm going to spotlight you.
Yes, thank you. So I am just grateful to be here and to hear all of your comments. That they are really warming my heart. And so thank you so much. And I haven't had, because I'm now in Delaware, I haven't had an opportunity to go to any of the local memorials and celebrations of life. So when I was speaking with James yesterday and he mentioned this, I thought, oh my goodness, I can come on. So I'm grateful to be here. I met Carolyn, Reverend Carolyn, in probably about 2002. I was in practitioner training with her. I was the only student she had, and we would meet at her home. And because I was the only student, I couldn't hide out. So it was just me. And she would often ask me questions. And I would always start with, well, I think. And after saying it, I don't know, several times, she said, you know, you say I think a lot. I invite you to say I feel. And that literally changed my life. And so I am very grateful to her for that. I also was a speaker and attended her interfaith breakfast meetings that she would have, which were just wonderful, with so many different diverse speakers from different religions. And so I just want to close by saying I now and we now honor her as an ancestor. In many cultures, when our loved ones cross over, they are now ancestors and they are not gone. And so I am just grateful to have known her. And Brett, my thoughts are with you and her family. And I'm just honored to be here. Thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And she was such a wisdom teacher. She is honored, and she's an honored ancestor. Thank you so much. And would anyone else like to share?
I would.
Go ahead, please.
I'm unmuted.
Oh, you're unmuted. Is your camera on? Your camera's not on, but so I can't spotlight you, but
Oh,
that's okay.
You can't see me?
Yeah.
We see and hear
Her
you.
camera is on.
Camera is on.
All right,
Nice.
my name is Dorothy Wilson. Can you see me, host?
Oh, yes. And Dorothy, I'm going to spotlight you real quick. Hold on. That's just a sec. Here we go. And replace spotlight. There we go. Thank you, Dorothy.
I'm Dorothy Wilson. I tout myself as being one of her oldest friends. I met Carolyn in 1986, and I was the new kid on the block. I got a job working for the Navy at Navy Supply Center in Oakland. That's where I met Carolyn. And there was another young woman there. So it was a team of women doing jobs that men had traditionally done over the years. And I just like to talk about how, you know, she stepped up as a leader. And I always felt like I was like her middle sister. She adopted me, and, I just kind of fit right in there, with the family. And we became family. We were very close friends. And then, like I said earlier, we raised our kids together. We bought homes in the same neighborhood, just a street apart. And meeting Carolyn in 1986, we were young. We were young. Her children were young. I had a young daughter. And, we were just trying to make a living. We were just trying to, but I saw something in her. She was very special. She was very smart. And one thing that I just loved about her is how she always encouraged me. She saw more in me than I saw in myself. And when she knocked on that door, broke that glass ceiling, raised that window, she reached back. She didn't forget. She reached back and pulled me along with her. And there were times when I would say, I can't do that. And she would be like, oh, yes, you can do it. And when she left the Navy Supply Center and went to the EPA in San Francisco, the big EPA in San Francisco, that was the making of, the start of making of her career. She loved it so much. We talked about it a lot. And she called me up, one day and said, you have to come over here. This is one of the best places on earth. You're going to love it. And I was like, I don't know what I do at the EPA. And she said, you're just going to be amazing. I don't know what you're going to do, but you're going to be amazing at it. and so I just, one day, she kind of set up some interviews for me. And I went over, talked to some people. Actually, I got a job that day. And we worked together. I think we were on the same floor for a long time, but just different departments. And it was one of the best careers. It was the start of my career, a big career, best jobs I ever had. We worked for the public, with the public, in public. It was amazing, amazing jobs. And I owe her my career. And I just never I just never took the time. I just thought we had time. And I just hope that I showed her in many other ways, how much I appreciated her as being such a great person and friend to me and to my daughter, and inviting us in, to her heart and her home, and making us part of our family. We loved her. She never hesitated, like when we needed her to pick up that phone and do what she did best, was comfort and give words of encouragement. And it was just, I miss her. I love her. And she was one of my oldest friends and one of my greatest friends. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about her.
Wonderful. Thank you for coming, Dorothy, and sharing her with us. Because yes, she was such a wisdom teacher and a comforter. And our lives are richer because we knew her.
Yes.
Thank you. And Carrie Kelly, would you like to share?
So yesterday I was visiting a friend, and am I unmuted?
You're unmuted. You're perfect.
I was visiting a friend, and he and my husband were listening to some music, and this song called "I'm Going Away" came on, and I thought about doing that song for my sharing. I'm gonna give it a try, but bear with me. So this is my gift. This is what I share. So
thank you, Carrie.
I'm going away. I'm going away to a place I'll live eternally. A special place prepared for just for me. I'm going away. I'm going away. Away. I'm going away. I'm going away. Yes, I am. No more crying or sorrows over there. We will live free from every care. I'm going away. I'm going away. Hey, away. One of these mornings, it won't be long. You'll look for me and I'll be gone. Going to glory to sing and shout. Nobody there to put me out. I'm going away. I'm going away. I'm going away. I'm going away. To a place prepared for just for me. A special place. I'll live eternally. I'm going away. Okay, I've gone as far as I can go.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you so much. She was a special lady and she loved your singing. Always the encourager. Great. Would anyone else like to share? Let's lower your hand. Would anyone else like to share? Dee Marie, please.
Thank you, Cynthia. I would first like to express my condolences to Carolyn's family and her dear friends and acquaintances, and to my fellow Toastmasters. Reverend Jeffley reminded us of the window that we enter, but then there's also the window that closes as we leave. I remember Carolyn as a light, like the light in a watchtower, a beacon that guides and directs, and for me, a beacon of hope. Her voice was always so full of inspiration. She was passionate about Toastmasters. She seemed like she knew exactly what to do and say that applied to Toastmasters at any moment and any time. Carolyn was that bright beacon of hope for me. I would like to share with you an original poem that says it better than I can. A glow in our hearts. One candle glowing in the dark can chase our fears away. But a candle that's radiating with warmth can guide us through each day. So let us think back on Carolyn's life with memories rich and dear to the joy, the laughter, and the good times that will always linger near. Though her flame has flickered and dimmed, her memories are etched in our minds. We pray for God's grace to abide with her, that she has found sweet rest so sublime. Thank you.
Thank you, Dee Marie. That was beautiful. And would anyone else like to share? Is that James? Are you raising your hand? Would you like to share?
Oh.
I can't see the
I'm Denise.
Oh, I'm
I just
sorry. Okay,
no,
hold on.
that's okay.
Let me find you. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, there you've got your hands up. Okay, just a second. And I'm not the best Zoom master. Okay, please share, Denise. Welcome.
Hi, thanks. I'm glad I was able to jump on to this meeting. I'm new to Toastmasters and relatively new to the Leader Worldwide group. And where I didn't know Carolyn all that well, I remember, it's funny, I remember her smile and the brightness and the twinkle in her eyes and just the kindness of her heart. When I saw the photo, yeah, well, I remembered all of that, and it just makes me smile, and so I'm grateful for that. I feel like this eclipse that happened today, I was telling Cynthia earlier that she's newest angel that's shining over now and forever. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for coming on and sharing. I shared earlier what you shared with me on text in the chat and on her Facebook page. So Brett is inviting us to share our thoughts on her Facebook page and other social media. So thank you. Wonderful. Anyone else want to share? I'm having a trouble seeing everybody. I can't see the gallery. Where am I? Hold on, sorry.
I just like to say just something
yes.
about, because I was for 6 months a member of Leaders Worldwide, and as I am thinking about her during this time, I started to remember the speeches that she gave, and that warmth and the smile that came through on the little squares in the Zoom meeting. And I am really very happy that when I heard about her passing was just really pretty devastating. And I am glad that I am part of this memorial gathering. And thank you.
Thank you so much. And thank you for being our timer. And if anyone else want to share, Rosemary or Cassandra, would you like to share? Or Brett? Brett did share in the beginning, that's right. Anyone else like to share before we close? Essa?
I can
Hi,
say something
Rosemary.
about Cassandra. Sorry about Caroline. I have never met her in person, but when I can remember her evaluations, because I love evaluations, I can remember her evaluations. She would be evaluating you with that posture, and you could just feel a calm when she's informing you of what you did and how you could improve. And she always wore that smile. She was never busy. She never went too quickly. You could always understand what she was telling you. And she would tell you so much thing within that 3 minutes that I tried to follow her style because she always looked for what was not obvious to congratulate you on or give you points for improvement. So I will miss her. I will miss Caroline. I miss her voice, her smile. You could feel her warmth across the miles. You could feel that she was a warm, gentle person, and that's what I will miss about her. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam President. Wonderful. And Cassandra, would you like to share? Okay, if Cassandra, I wanted to share my thoughts before I turn it back to our president. Carolyn meant so much to me. And we would have these talks. I was in my car at Golden Gate Park, and she was on the phone in Richmond. And we just felt so close. And I remember her smile, but her warmth of her smile would come through the phone, and she would mentor me and just everything that she shared with me, all the wisdom. I love how you named her as an ancestor and a wisdom speaker. She really was in life and in death, she will be. But in life, she had so much wisdom that she shared well beyond her years. And she was always willing to be a mentor and to push someone along the way, to put a hand in the small of their back and let them guide them as she went. And I remember the first time I heard her speak, I think it was at Heart to Heart. I invited her because she was our division director. And the members at Heart to Heart were so inspired by her. I think that's really where they got a desire to be in leadership in the district because following her lead was really, really beautiful. So I'm going to turn it back to Rosemary. Thank you all for coming today and sharing your thoughts on Carolyn. It was very healing. It was a wonderful space to share our thoughts and feelings and to have a space where they could be held. So thank you so much for being here and for sharing her, and especially you, Brett. We really, really appreciate you coming here. Our deepest condolences to you and your brother and all her family. She is greatly, greatly missed. Another angel, for sure. Back to you, Madam President, Rosemary Sweeney.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. And oh, your face was looking at you, Canadian. Thank you so much, and I thank everyone who came and who knew Carolyn one way or the other, either personally or just over Zoom, and expressed their feeling and their gratitude for knowing her. She was described in so many ways. She's an ancestor, and I have never thought of someone moving on to that because we always think they are dead. Well, I never believed she was dead, and so I was glad to hear that she said she would be like Enoch and moved on, and I agree with her. She is somewhere there looking at us and prompting us on. All the speakers who spoke about her, I could just close my eyes and visualize what you were saying about Caroline, because though I did not know her personally, that's how she came across. And well, she has left a legacy for us to follow. And as the Reverend said, let us do something where we will be remembered or will forever be forgotten. And we, as long as we are alive, we will never forget Caroline. And so her memory will live on and on. and on. And where there is life, I love the quote when he said what he saw on the air hostess's bracelet. Where there is life, let us live. So let us live and live in peace with each other and harmony. And because we never know when we are moving on, we move on nowadays so simply. And time is moving on, and so should we not wait for things, but let us get it moving so that when we depart, we will be remembered, not after 4 generations, but for generations to come. And once again, I thank everyone for being at our meeting this evening or today. I will now call on our Vice President Education, Toastmaster Cassandra. Is she still there?
There she is. Okay, there we go.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so as far as for rules and that sort of thing, I will get back with our members to assign rules for next week's meeting.
Okay, then. Thank you so much. And the members who are here of Leaders Worldwide, don't wait for Cassandra to get to us. Get to Cassandra. Don't wait. It should not be a waiting game. If we are having this memorial for Caroline, we know Caroline was that kind of person who was very proactive. So let us get onto it, be proactive and contact Toastmaster Cassandra. Do not wait for her to contact all of us for rules, because this can be very overbearing after a while. And I would now call our meeting to a close. Once again, I thank everyone. I thank the Reverend. We are blessed this afternoon. We have 2 reverends in our midst, and we would like to see them again at our meeting. In fact, we'd like to see all our guests at our meetings. We normally have 2 meetings at this time of the month. Our meetings are Mondays. I think the first and the 3rd Mondays, we have it at this time. And the 2nd and 4th Mondays, we have it at 6 p.m. Pacific time. So look out for our flyers. And we hope to see you again at our meeting. And we even wish you would become members of our amazing club. So once again, thank you for coming and thank you for being with us. I now call this meeting to a close.
Thank you.
Thank
Anyone
you,
everyone.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you, everyone.
Thank
Day.
And Brett, thank you for being
Thank you,
here.
Brett. Blessings.
Thank you for
So
honoring
much.
our
Thank you, Brett, for being here with us. So we know her memory and her living continues.
Thank you. Thank you.
So bye, everyone.
Bye. Bye, everyone.
Hi, Denise. You look beautiful in pink.
Okay. Great. It didn't let me end the meeting for everyone. You have to leave yourself. Okay. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye, Denise. Bye, Sally. I'm so glad you could get onto the call.
Thank you.